Welcome to Tracking the Wolves. My name is Josh Moon, Director of Athletics at Northern State University. And to kick off the 2013 fall season, we have head football coach Tom Dosch. Coach, welcome. We're going to talk a little bit about camp. Football has been in camp for about 2 weeks now. Coach, what have you seen so far from the team?
Yeah, a lot of good energy. We've gotten a lot. We got 72, I think, 74 returning guys who've been in our program for a year or more. So that's always good. Just running and organizing practices and stuff. It's good to have guys who've been around and have been through it a little bit. They have an idea, if nothing else, where to go on the field and where the training room is and stuff like that. But really, when it comes down to wanting to have an effective practice, and we really emphasize, hey, let's just try and get better every day. And we've got guys who've been with us long enough that most of them understand it. And then part of their job too is to teach the freshmen, and get our incoming freshman class, which we've got about 35 incoming new players in our program, and really to get them on board and getting them figuring out where to go and how to do stuff and how to practice the right way. That's a big challenge for freshmen, is they don't understand how to practice at the college level when they get here. And so our older guys have really been good about that, taking care of the young guys, and we're doing a lot of that.
Now, one thing you mentioned repeatedly in your program is we're standing behind your effort, preparation, attitude. You talk about that and how you incorporate that into the, from when they first report. I know you preach this constantly. We really talk about this for all of our student athletes, but what does these 3 words mean to the program?
Yeah, thanks. Those 3 things have really kind of been they've really been the backbone of our program since I took over almost 4 years ago. And the reason we emphasize those 3 things, your effort, your preparation, and your attitude, those are the 3 things that you can control every day. And so we really emphasize control the things that you can control. Don't worry about all the external factors that you have no control over. So, effort, what kind of effort are you going to give in the classroom? What kind of effort are you going to give in the weight room, in the practice field, obviously on game day? Preparation, how well prepared are you for everything, for practice, for your classes, for games? I feel, you talk about motivating a team. I feel the best motivated teams are well-prepared teams and guys who feel like their preparation is good. And then attitude, we talk about attitude a lot. It's the first thing in our playbook is how are you gonna respond when things aren't going good? How are you gonna respond when things are going good? Are you gonna have the right attitude to keep pressing on? So EPA, our guys hear me say that a lot, and it's something we've got up here on the wall behind us, but it's really something that's really what we base a lot of things in our program around. If you do those 3 things well, you'll be successful.
Sure. Well, we talk about the 2013 season and the senior class and the leadership. They really are the first group that you recruited, your staffers recruited. What has their leadership meant to this program, and what do you see from that class this year?
Very, very strong group of leaders. Number-wise, I think we have 10 or 11 seniors, so it's not a huge senior class. And these guys it's a combination of some of the guys were with our program when I got here. Ike Easterleaf, Logan Dosch, Mike Took, Jason Gaditz were all guys that were in the program for a year or a semester actually. And so they're the guys that have been here the whole time. And then the additional half a dozen guys are guys that, Matt Anderson and Kyle Cabral were both guys that we did not redshirt, so they came in and played in the fall of 2010. And then we got another half a dozen guys that have joined our program, transfers primarily. And so just incorporating that mix of guys in. So, we talk a lot about ownership, whether our guys have an ownership in the program and feeling like this is, when you get to become a senior, this is your program, and you as a head coach, you want to, and really all the assistant coaches as well, you really want to become facilitators, and hopefully the older guys take ownership, and they're the guys that know how we want to do stuff in practice, know how we prepare, that sort of stuff, and then the younger guys fall behind them. And so you're getting that feel now when you've had guys that have been in our program the whole time and guys that have just been coached by our coaches, that they feel like there's some ownership in what we're doing. And the more ownership they get, the more confident they get, and the more responsibility that I'm going to give them as the head coach to, hey, you can take charge and take over some days, and let the younger guys follow your lead.
Mm-hmm. The next thing is the redshirt freshmen who last year under the radar, they're in the scout team. They're really kind of the workhorse during the week to get your team ready. Now they turn into actually competing for spots. Can you highlight some redshirt freshmen that you expect to have big years for the Wolves?
Sure. You start, and you're exactly right. When you look at the class of 2012, which is what these guys were, we redshirted all but one of those guys last year. Really probably the best overall quantity and quality group that we've had since I've been here in terms of there's a lot of them and a lot of good players, a lot of really good students in the group. And so those guys, they spend a year on the scout team and preparing everything, and now they're really coming in and pushing for playing time, pushing for starting positions. Offensively, you start out at tight end. Connor Doherty is a guy that's really, he's from Brookings, really done a lot of good things for us and shown to be, he's a Northern Sun tight end. Cody Kraft, another young man from Timberlake, same category as well. Both those two guys will be playing, we think, quite a bit this year. Steven Erlinson's a running back. He's from Breckenridge, Minnesota. He's showing a lot of good things as well. Really brings a lot to us as a running back, running the ball, protection, catching it as well. And then Taylor Zemlicka, quarterback out of Waverly South Shore, and he's pushing as well to be our 2 or be our 3 quarterback right now. And then at wide receiver, his twin brother Tyson Zemlicka is a guy that we think is going to do a lot of good things for us as well. And so that combination of those guys on offense and defensively, our defensive line, that's really a good group of guys. Chad Stotterow is a nose guard from Garrettson, South Dakota, a big physical athletic guy that'll be in the mix and play a lot. And as you know, we play a lot of guys on our defensive line and linebacker spots. Chad will be getting a lot of playing time. Tanner Lopez is a younger brother of Dallas. Tanner's from Chandler, Arizona. He's a defensive end, showing a lot of good things. Thad Johnson, another defensive end. Thad is from Tri-Valley in the Sioux Falls area, showing a lot of good stuff as well. So those 3 guys will be in the mix, and they'll be competing for playing time. Our linebacker positions, Trevor Heining is from Atwater, Minnesota. Same thing, done real well academically, showing a lot of good stuff as a football player. Trevor was here all summer, as were a lot of those guys. And then Tanner Fettrell's an outside linebacker as well. And then in the secondary, Channing Barber, who's a cornerback, kick returner, really an explosive, probably the fastest guy or one of the fastest guys on our team. He'll be in the mix playing a lot. And then Joe Parsley. Joe is from Flandreau, South Dakota, and Matt Thorson from Groton, South Dakota, will be in the mix as defensive back. So and there's others too that I haven't mentioned, but you talk about highlighting a few. On the offensive line, we've got Tyler Roble and Jake Adam, a couple guys that we think are going to push for playing time. Evan Aaron as well, Blake Lohr. So it's a good group of young guys that are in there pushing our older guys and are competing for playing time. So that's exciting to see every year when those guys get more comfortable and they feel like they can get in and compete, and they're confident enough kids that they do believe that they can compete right away.
Well, I think another good thing is that you really emphasize you mentioned the Minnesota redshirt freshmen and the South Dakota. I mean, really good nucleus upper Midwest student athletes, which is really the core of our program here.
Yeah. We've got right now. I think we've got about 55 guys on our roster from South Dakota. We've got about somewhere between 15 and 20 from Minnesota, and we've got about 10 or 11 from North Dakota. So when you look at where we're located, those 3 states are making up a good chunk of our football team. 85 guys or 90 guys, whatever. So. Anytime you can recruit good players locally, and that's what we've been able to do. It's one thing to get local players on your team, but you also want to get good players, guys that can come in and play, and guys who are good students, and certainly that's going to you think and hope it's going to create some interest within those communities and within our community of Aberdeen and surrounding communities. That people are excited from half an hour away. They want to come and watch guys play that they watched play in high school, or that guys they played against or whatever. So I think that helps create the excitement and the buzz that you want to have about your football program.
Now this week, talk about the scrimmage, big scrimmage before the final game week preparations next week, but just talk a little bit about the scrimmage this week.
Sure. Thursday night, which is the 29th of August, we'll have our final scrimmage at Swisher Field, 6:30 on Thursday evening, and it won't be a scripted scrimmage. It'll be somewhat controlled. We won't do the entire game. We won't do some parts of the kicking game. We probably won't be live on the quarterback, Josh, but it'll be everything else. We're going to have officials there. We're going to move the chains. We'll get in. So we do some of that, and we also practice some game situations. We'll practice some goal line and red zone. We'll practice 2-minute drill. We'll do stuff like that to get our guys as close to a game situation you can get without having actually played a game. And then so that'll be Thursday evening, and then as you said, we will really get in the game week throughout the course of the weekend, where we open up the following Saturday, with September 6th against Wayne State College. So that'll be our final dress rehearsal before we get into game week, and it's really our last chance to evaluate our players and evaluate them in our system. And you know, we film, as you know, we film everything in practice. We watch all parts of practice, but there's really nothing like a real game, like a scrimmage-like situation to get. You know, that's the best way to evaluate guys is when you go live. And so we tell our guys, this is your opportunity to show your coaches and show your teammates what you can do. So what we've been able to create is more depth and more competition within our team. And by having this scrimmages, and we had a little bit more live stuff this fall, just because of we have more competition. You know, we've gone 3 or 4 days where we've done some live things, but this will be our biggest, and our most plays will run live, and we hope that continued competition within our team, A, helps us become a better football team, and B, helps us become deeper, because inevitably in football you're going to have injuries. It's the nature of the beast. So by having that depth and having guys that you feel are confident and know what they're doing, that you can put them out there over the long haul of 11 weeks, is going to help your football team, help your program.
Well, good. Wolves fans, this Thursday, 6:30 at Swisher Field, and then September 7th, Saturday, so 2 weeks from now, we're going to have our kickoff home opener, a huge tailgate at 4 p.m., Wolves Club tailgate, new member extravaganza out there. Lots of fun. And then a 6 p.m. first night game we've had out at Swisher in a couple years against Wayne State, so it'll open up the 2013 season for the Wolves. So please come out, lots of family, lots of friends, good times with the Wolves football. And until then, we'll see you next time on Tracking the Wolves.